Hello, everyone. I'm Ken O'Neill, and this is Commissioner's Corner. Today we are speaking with Brandon Ross, who is at the PGCBL. He is broadcasting for the Burlington Royals of the Appalachian League. And Brandon, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Ken. Long time no see.
Last year, I told you that you were going to get a job, didn't I?
You did. You certainly did.
So how did you get the job, and how did this all come about? We'd like to know.
Well, so early on in the process, I started applying to some of the summer college leagues. That's typical for someone who's still in college. I just finished my sophomore year. I applied to the Cape Cod League. I didn't really get any bites there. I applied to some other leagues, and then I saw the Burlington Royals opening on a job board and kind of just sent out an application on a flyer. Since it's professional ball, I didn't really expect anything to come of it. I knew it would mostly work with my schedule, so I'm like, hey, on the off chance I do get this position, I can do it. And so the GM, Mikey Morrison, graciously responded to me to set up an interview within the hour, actually. I was really surprised by that. Then 2 weeks later, we had a nice 20-minute phone conversation, and then about a week and a half after that, he called offering me the position.
Wow, that's fantastic. Now, are you still in school?
I'm halfway done with college right now. I'm on summer break. So I'm down in North Carolina for the summer before I go to finish my next 1.5 to 2 years at Syracuse. I may graduate early, but I'm not committed to that yet.
Well, that's still fantastic. Now, have you been interested in broadcasting for your whole life?
Actually, not really. I kind of started to get into sports media when I was a sophomore in high school. I was kind of looking for something to do, and there's the SB Nation site, Newton's Magician, which focuses on Syracuse sports. I sort of reached out to the editor, asked if I could start writing because I'm a big Syracuse fan. I was growing up, and I still am, being a student there. And he let me start writing, and I kind of got ingratiated into sports media. I fell in love with it. I always thought I was going to get into writing, though. I wasn't decided going into school. I started off writing at the student newspaper first before really falling in love with the sports broadcasting side of things.
Which is, to me, is fun. Now, you're working at the Newhouse School of Broadcasting. How has that been? And have you worked with anybody like a Bob Costas yet, or is it just not yet?
Well, I wish I could be with Bob Costas every day, but I've worked with some great professors at the Newhouse School. My professor for my radio broadcasting class, Barbara Folk, this year, she was incredible. Very tough teacher, but she loved everybody in that class, and she made me a lot better. And then there's the voice of the Orange, Matt Park, who's always been great at helping students develop and get to that next level. And so I've gotten a lot of great feedback from him in trying to improve my skills.
Well, when we were doing the broadcast together, the one thing, what I liked was the fact that you were really good. I really enjoyed working with you. Okay, I'm being serious now, and and one of the things I liked was the fact that you knew the players. When I did the little bit of play-by-play there, I didn't know the players. It's really difficult. You can't just say, "Oh, there's a ground ball to the shortstop," and not know who he is. So I appreciate that. How do you learn all those things? Is that something that you just came about? Do you practice that? How does that work?
Well, a lot of it does come through practice and getting better at things, listening back to yourself. It's something I'm going to be doing a lot of this summer, and something I did last summer, listening back to myself and gauging what I need to do better. What would make the audience who isn't seeing this unfold before their eyes try to get a better gauge as what's happening. And there's also, thankfully, a lot of great resources out there. I've had great people, great mentors, among other students in the program, as well as just people I've been able to be lucky to connect with who have helped me get better with those things. And there are also a lot of great resources out there. Joel Godet's Play-by-Play Cast, for example, it's a podcast you can find on iTunes or some other sort of podcasting platforms. But listening to that, there are a lot of great interviews with play-by-play broadcasters where they dispense knowledge. And I've been aggressive enough to try to listen to as much of that and absorb as much of that as I can and implement it into my own broadcasts.
Now you have, who are the teams, where are the teams located that you go, and how is the travel now?
Well, luckily for me, I have a position where I'm only broadcasting the home games and road games at one team. The Burlington Royals are in Burlington, North Carolina. It's sort of basically sandwiched between Greensboro and Durham Chapel Hill. The only team I travel to is the Danville Braves. They're in Virginia, but they're just across the state line. It's only about a 45, 50-minute drive. Other teams in the league, they're a little bit farther away. We're in North Carolina. There are teams in Virginia, West Virginia, and Tennessee as well. Most teams, if you're traveling between, are within 3.5 to 4 hours of each other at the most.
Now, is it a radio broadcast? Is it live streaming? What is it that you broadcast on?
Well, I'm broadcasting exclusively through TuneIn. The Burlington Royals do not have a radio partner. Some teams in the league do, but everyone goes through TuneIn at some level, and a lot of teams in this league do go just primarily through TuneIn.
Now, you were an intern with the Onondaga Flames. How was that, and what can you say to other people who would like to be an intern?
Interning with the Onondaga Flames was an awesome experience. I was able to get my foot in the door just really early and get that broadcast experience. I had never done baseball play-by-play before that summer. And so going in there and sort of just trying to figure it out all on my own was great, just for helping me build up my skills at sort of a lower level where I can afford to make mistakes, while also just getting to know people and getting to ingratiate myself with the workings of a baseball team. And getting that experience, I think, was a big reason why I was able to get this job this summer.
And also working with Wayne Walker.
Wayne Walker is a great boss.
I know he is. He definitely is. Now, where do you expect to go next year? Do you have some plan, or is it what's going to happen with you?
Well, I'm taking it very come as it goes. I'm not thinking that far ahead into the future yet. I haven't even called a game yet here this summer. There are only 3 games into the season, the Royals are, and all of them have been on the road. They have 3 more before the first home game on Monday, which will be my first broadcast of the season. So right now I'm focusing on this season, broadcasting this season, listening back to every game, getting better as I go, and then putting together the best reel for whatever I may do next summer. I could come back here. I could search for another position. I could search for a position not necessarily in play-by-play, just to broaden my horizons. But it's too early to tell, but I'm mainly focused on this summer for the moment.
Well, I told you that. I told you that you were good and you were going to get a job, but I also told you that if you do get a job, don't forget me.
I won't forget you.
All right.
Hey, I'm talking to you right now.
There you go. Well, thanks for being with us. We're going to put this on YouTube under Commissioner's Corner, and good luck to you. I hope to see you soon.
All right. Thank you, Ken. Thanks for having me.